welcome into another episode of Matt Sports Talk. And in this video, we are going to be recapping all of the games from last night on the men's side. And before we do, I just wanted to take a minute and say that for those of you that are brand new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button down below so you're first notified whenever I upload new episodes. And I truly appreciate any feedback that you may provide me. And for those of you that are already subscribed to my channel, thank you so much for doing so. I really appreciate that, and it truly means a lot. And my goal is to hit 500 subscribers by the end of this year, so please hit the subscribe button down below so again you're first notified whenever I upload new episodes. So on this video, we are going to be looking over all the men's games from last night, and there were some good matchups. And now it was kind of maybe a little bit of a surprise that we did not have any major upsets last night, which again, that seems to happen quite frequently, especially with as competitive as what the Crossroads League is. And again, I primarily talk about Crossroads League, pardon me, the Crossroads League men and women's side of basketball. And so and by the way, the new RPI numbers and the new ARC and quad numbers will all be coming out this coming week. So again, that'll be coming your way Monday and Tuesdays, particularly on the women's side, with sticking to the RPI, the ARC, and the quads, because there is a lot of stuff to dive into this coming week. And so again, make sure that you stay tuned for that, and then I'll be back with you Sunday recapping all the games from Saturday, because we have some huge matchups on Saturday with a lot of playoff implications and playoff seeding on the line. So again, make sure that you stay tuned for that. So our first matchup last night takes us to Upland, Indiana, where Taylor no longer ranked as they fell completely outside of the top 25. And let me adjust my camera real quick since it seemed to have kind of fallen. Well, at least it seemed like it was going to fall over there. I wanted to catch it before it did that. So our first matchup takes us to Upland, Indiana. Now, as I mentioned, Taylor hosted St. Francis. Taylor fell outside the top 25. And now, of course, this comes after they lost to, in fact, before we dive into last night's game, I just want to take a second and talk about Taylor, because since the last polls were released, which was Wednesday night, January 28th, since then, Taylor lost 3 straight games. They lost to now number 3 Indiana Wesleyan. They lost to number 10 Bethel, who surprisingly did not fall any spots in the top 25 poll when those came out yesterday, which was a little bit of a shock. And then, of course, Taylor suffered the horrible loss at Goshen. Well, horrible in a good way, especially because that Goshen was one of the worst teams in the conference, or was the worst team in the conference, I should say. Taylor men lost those 3 straight games. So yeah, that definitely is why they fell completely outside of the rankings and no longer ranked at all. So that is where the first matchup takes us to. Last night in Taylor, the winners here, 93-83 on the year. And looking at stats for St. Francis, you had 25 points for Carson Rogers, 11 of 17 shooting, 13 rebounds, a double-double for him. He was 3 of 3 at the charity stripe. He also had 1 assist, 2 steals, and 2 blocks, though, so really good to see that. Only 4 points for Braden Messenger, but he had 1 rebound and 1 steal, though. 7 points for Malachi King, 2 of 4 shooting, 1 of 3 from beyond the arc. 2 of 4 at the free throw line. He had 1 rebound and a block. 15 points for Mar Avance, 5 of 13 shooting. He was 4 of 4 at the charity stripe, though. He had 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 1 steal. 17 points for Javon Lewis. Struggled shooting, but he was 2 of 2 at the line. 9 assists, 3 steals, and 3 rebounds, though. And then off the bench, you had Keyshawn McNeil with 5 points and 16 minutes of action with 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. Eugene Young Jr., 9 minutes of action, no statistics. And Jordan Fernie in 12 minutes of action, 1 of 1 shooting, which was all from deep, with 1 steal and 1 assist. And then you had Trey Dillard, 7 points, 3 of 4 shooting, 1 of 2 at the line. He had 1 rebound, 1 steal, and 1 block. And St. Francis shot the ball really well from the field at 50. They struggled from 3 at 28. Now, they were also really good at the free throw line, converting 15 out of 19 for 78%. St. Francis with 8 turnovers compared to 15 for Taylor. Now, for Taylor, they shot way better from the field at 57 and way better from 3 at 51. And they were 7 of 11 at the free throw line for 63%, so not too terribly bad, I guess. And leading the way for them, 27 points for Pete Combs, 10 of 14 shooting, 2 of 2 from deep, 5 of 5 at the line, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. 25 points for Isaiah Day, 10 of 17 shooting, 4 of 10 from deep. He had 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal. 9 points for Anthony McGee, off 4 of 7 shooting, 1 of 2 from deep, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. You only had 2 points for Carson Gold, but he had 11 assists and 6 rebounds, though. 14 points for Nate Paulberg, 5 of 6 shooting, 4 of 5 of that was from deep, 4 rebounds and 1 steal for him. Off the bench, TJ Davidson with 4 points, with 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 rebound. You had 3 points for Ano Wogar, 2 rebounds and 1 assist. 3 points for Levin Smith with 2 rebounds and 1 assist, and 6 points for Nathan Baker with 4 rebounds and 3 assists. And that was your matchup there. The next matchup will take us to Mishawaka, Indiana, where where Bethel hosted Spring Arbor, I should say. Bethel, the winners here, after they were down 5 points at halftime and outscored the Cougars by 13 in the second half, and that proved to be the difference there. And leading the way now, 86-78 was the final score here. Leading the way for Spring Arbor, you had Dante Favor with a really, really good shooting game. 26 points, 11 of 14 shooting, 4 of 7 at the line, 9 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. 13 points for Brandon Trilly, 6 of 12 shooting, 1 of 3 from deep, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. Only 2 points for Shane Reisky, but he had 2 rebounds, though. 7 points for Travis Grayson. Struggled shooting at just 2 of 10, but he was 2 of 4 at the charity stripe. He got 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. 15 points for David Cundiff. 7 of 11 shooting, 1 of 4 from deep. He had 8 assists, 2 steals, 2 rebounds. Off the bench, you had Warwick Elder with 2 assists. You also had TJ Mitchell, 1 minute of action, no statistics. You got Eli White, 3 points in 7 minutes of action. 6 points for Aiden Zank, 2 of 4 shooting, which was all from deep. 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. 6 points for Ty Reisky, 3 of 4 shooting with 2 rebounds, 3 assists. And then Jaden Namako, no minutes, no statistics. And Brandon King, in 2 minutes, no statistics either. Spring Arbor shot 51 from the field, struggled from 3 at 30, and they really struggled at the free throw line, converting 6 out of 13 for 46%. They had 11 turnovers, 12 turnovers for Bethel, so pretty even in that category. Bethel shot worse from the field at 46, better from 3 at 40, and they were better at the free throw line, but still not all that great. 19 out of 13 for 63. And leading the way for Bethel was Luke McBride, 19 points, 6 of 13 shooting, 4 of 6 from deep, 3 of 4 at the line, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 10 points for Alonis Vasilius, 2 of 3 shooting, 6 of 9 at the charity stripe. He had 6 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block. 17 points for Austin Kripe, 6 of 10 shooting, 3 of 4 from deep, 2 of 3 at the line, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. 14 points for Colin Comer, with 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. 5 points for Jameer Jefferson, getting some starting time. 1 of 3 shooting, 3 of 6 at the line, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Off the bench, you had Mason Bales in 8 minutes of action, had an assist. 6 points for Carter Kent, 3 of 9 shooting, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. 9 points for Andrew Hedrick, 2 of 5 shooting, 5 of 8 at the line, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, plus a block. Alex Johnson, 5 minutes of action, no statistics, and 6 points for Alex Ellenson, 3 of 3 shooting in 13 minutes of action, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 blocks. And that was your matchup there. The next matchup will take us down to Winona Lake, where now number 2 Grace hosted Marion, and Grace, no problem here, 94-63 the final score. And Marion had 7 turnovers, and Grace, though, 18 turnovers, so kind of uncharacteristic for them. Now, several bright spots for Marion was the good balance scoring. Leading the way, 14 points for Aiden Franks, 6 of 14 shooting, 2 of 5 from deep, 3 rebounds, and 1 steal. 7 points for Aaron Humphrey Jr., but he was 3 of 3 at the line, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal. You had 10 points for Ron Rutland III, 3 of 7 shooting, 2 of 4 from deep, 2 of 2 at the line. Pardon me. At the line, 3 rebounds and 2 steals. You had 12 points for Dylan Moles, 5 of 14 shooting, 1 of 3 from deep, 1 of 1 at the line with a rebound and 2 steals. 4 points for Josiah Gustin, 2 of 5 shooting with 2 rebounds and 3 steals. Off the bench, Nate Luce, in 3 minutes of action, had an assist plus a steal. You had Joshua Renfro with 3 points in 16 minutes of action. El Hajj Diallo, 6 minutes of action, had 5 points, 2 of 4 shooting, 1 of 2 from deep with an assist. 4 points for Luke Carroll with 3 rebounds and an assist. 2 points for Luke Lindemann with 2 rebounds and 1 steal. and Blake Russell with 2 points with 1 rebound. And Marion shot 32 from the field. They were really good from 3 at 41 and really, really good at the free throw line, converting 6 out of 7 for 85. And meanwhile for Grace was just lights out. 71% from the field. So just absolutely amazing performance for head coach Scott Moore and his team. 71% when you round it up from the field, 50% from deep, and they were, pardon me, they were equally as good at the free throw line, converting 19 out of 23 for 82. And leading the way for Grace, Tyler Roush, 20 points, 7 of 9 shooting, 2 of 2 from deep, 4 of 5 at the line, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 4 blocks. Really, really good numbers there. 13 points for Gage Sefton, 5 of 5 shooting, 3 of 3 from deep, 4 from the charity stripe, I stand corrected. 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals. You had only 5 points for Hunter Walston, 2 of 5 shooting, 1 of 2 from deep, but he had 8 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 blocks though. 7 points for Ian Rouse, 2 of 4 shooting, 3 of 3 at the line, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. 5 points for Grady Carpenter with 5 assists, 2 rebounds. And boy, Grace's bench just, wow. 15 points leading the way off the bench for Michael Wellman. 5 of 7 shooting, 2 of 3 from deep, 3 of 4 at the line, 1 rebound, 1 assist, and a block. You had 7 points for Cannon Hauser, 3 of 4 shooting, 1 of 2 from deep, 7 assists, 3 rebounds. 14 points for Gavin Benton, 6 of 7 shooting, 2 of 2 from deep, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. And Isaac Schultz, 4 minutes of action, had a rebound. And then you had Caleb Harold with 2 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. And Bryce Sefton, 2 minutes of action, had an assist. Luke Bricker, 6 minutes of action, had 2 rebounds plus an assist. And Seth Martin, 3 minutes of action, no statistics. And Cole Hayworth, in 8 minutes of action with 6 points, 2 of 2 shooting, 2 of 2 at the line, 1 rebound, and 1 assist. And that was your matchup there. The next matchup will take us to Goshen, Indiana, where Huntington face off against Goshen. Huntington, the winners here, after Goshen nearly came back in the second half. But Huntington, though, prevailing 74-64. And Huntington had some really good statistics, too. Was Jackson Paul leading the way with 14 points, 5 of 10 shooting, 4 of 6 of the line, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. You had Keelan Lassisi, 9 points, 4 of 6 shooting with 6 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. 9 points for Cade Brenner, 3 of 7 shooting, which is all from beyond the arc. 4 rebounds for him. You had 10 points for Miles Good. He struggled shooting at just 2 of 13, but he was 5 of 5 at the line, though. 4 rebounds and 3 assists. 12 points for Caden Johnson against his former team since he transferred from Goshen. Johnson with 12 points, 20 rebounds, so a double-double for him. 4 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 5 of 13 shooting, but he was 2 of 5 at the free throw line, though. Off the bench, you had Jackson Jones, 7 minutes of action with 1 rebound. Taden Metzger, 1 minute of action, no statistics. Matthew Spears, 6 points, 1 of 2 shooting, 4 of 4 at the line with 4 rebounds and 1 assist. Luke LaGrange, 1 minute of action, no statistics. And the big one off the bench, Landon Beagle, really no surprise here. 14 points, 3 of 7 shooting from deep, 3 rebounds, 2 assists for him. Huntington didn't shoot the ball bad from the field at 39. They struggled from 3 at 26. They were decent at the free throw line, converting 17 out of 24 for 70%. Now, Huntington did have 14 turnovers compared to only 8 for Goshen, so that kind of tells you all you need to know there. Goshen actually was slightly worse from the field at 35 and worse from 3 at 20, and they were slightly better at the free throw line, converting 13 out of 17 for 76. And leading the way for Goshen, a career high by Kenny May, 24 points, 11 of 17 shooting, 1 of 1 from deep, 1 of 2 at the line, 11 rebounds, with a double-double for him, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. You had Marcus Northern with 11 points, 4 of 11 shooting, 2 of 5 from deep, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. 8 points for Jaraj Menorovec, 3 of 8 shooting, 2 of 5 from deep, 2 rebounds. So only 2 points for Braden Allen, but he had 2 rebounds, 1 assist. And then 13 points for Cameron Williams. Now, 9 of the 13 were at the free throw line, though. He had 2 assists, 1 rebound, 1 steal, 1 block. Off the bench, Savion Williams with 2 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Jacob Eiler, 1 minute of action, no statistics. 4 points for Jacob Carlson with 1 rebound, 1 steal, and 1 block, though. Deacon Hill had 1 rebound and 2 steals. And then Caleb Thompson, 3 minutes of action, had an assist. 1 minute of action, Basilius Petrides had 1 rebound plus 1 assist. And Joshua Gentry, 8 minutes of action with 3 rebounds and 1 steal, 1 block. And that was your match up there. And the final matchup takes us to Marion, Indiana, where now number 3 Indiana Wesleyan face off against Mount Vernon Nazarene. The Wildcats, no problem here. They continue their dominance. They won 8 in a row now, 103-65, the final score here. And I was at this game, at least for the first half of it, and it was a really, really good game by the Wildcats. They moved the ball very, very well, had some excellent looks, not just from the field, but also from deep. And there is nothing like going to a home game in the month of February. I can definitely tell you that. Being at IWU, such a great school to be at, great university, great school, great athletics, fantastic basketball programs, and there is nothing like being, on your home floor at your home university in the month of February. There's just nothing like it. And then, so leading the way for Mount Vernon Nazarene, you had 11 points leading the way in terms of your starters. 11 points for Abib, 5 of 8 shooting, 1 of 2 from deep. He had 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 block to go along with that. Only 7 points for Reed Plattfoot, but he had 2 rebounds and 2 assists. 10 points for Kieran Granville off 4 of 5 shooting, 2 of 3 at the line with 4 rebounds. You also had only 4 points for Trent Koning, but he had 1 rebound and 2 assists though. Only 5 points for Peyton Heiss, but he had 4 rebounds and 4 steals. Off the bench, you had B.D. Laurie with 4 points and 9 minutes of action. You had 13 points for Isaiah Brown off the bench, 4 of 7 shooting, 1 of 1 from deep, 4 of 4 at the line with 2 assists, 1 rebound, and a block. Drew Koning in 3 minutes of action had a steal. Grant Burkholder, 5 points off the bench, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. And then Isaac Burns, 3 minutes of action, had a rebound. 3 minutes of action, Junior Kambamba, no statistics. And then Devin Dreyer with 6 points off 3 of 6 shooting with 2 steals, 3 assists, and 1 rebound. The MVNU didn't shoot the ball bad from the field at 44. They really struggled from 3 at just 23, and they struggled at the free throw line, converting 10 out of 15 for 66. 13 turnovers for Mount Vernon, only 11 for IWU. Indiana Wesleyan just continues their dominance, 61% from the field, 56 from deep, and 9 of 9 at free throw line for 100%. And it was highlighted by DJ Moore, setting the new Indiana Wesleyan men's basketball program record for most assists in one game with 17. So a big congratulations to DJ, the redshirt senior from Columbus, Ohio. 10 points for him, 17 assists. He also had 3 rebounds, 2 steals, 4 of 6 shooting, 1 of 1 from deep, 1 of 1 at the line. 9 points for Julius Gizzi, 4 of 8 shooting, 1 of 4 at the line, or from 3, I should say. 2 rebounds and 1 steal. 6 points for Miller McCartney off 2 of 2 shooting, which was all from deep. 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. 11 points for Jake Smith, 4 of 6 shooting, 3 of 4 from deep, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. 18 points for Cademan Bontrager, 6 of 12 shooting, 6 of 6 at the line. He had 8 rebounds and 1 steal. Off the bench, you had Matthew Brown in 3 minutes of action, 2 of 3 shooting, 1 of 2 from deep. And you also had Connor Hassong in 2 minutes of action, had a steal. 17 points for Isaac Andrews off the bench, 7 of 11 shooting, 3 of 5 from deep, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal for him. Noah Reed, 5 minutes of action, did not score, but he had 3 rebounds and 2 assists though. 14 points for Crew Gibson, 6 of 7 shooting, 2 of 3 from deep, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. 5 points for Marcus Ankney, 2 of 4 shooting with 1 rebound and 2 assists. Cliff Gashumba, 3 minutes of action, did not score, but he had 1 block though. And then 8 points for Kevin Sakis, 3 of 5 shooting, 2 of 2 at the line, 6 rebounds, 1 assist. And that was your matchup there. And that concludes recapping all the games from last night. So previewing the games for Saturday, some big playoff implications on the line. You'll have receiving votes Huntington at Taylor. The winner of that game will take sole possession of 4th place in the conference and vying for that final home playoff game spot in the opening round of the league tournament coming up next Tuesday night, which will be February 20, actually next Wednesday night, I should say, 2 weeks, I guess I should say. February 25th, Wednesday night, will be the opening round for the men. At least because the women are Tuesday night and then Friday night, and the men are Wednesday night and then Saturday afternoon. So yeah. And then you'll also have Marion at St. Francis. You'll have number 10 Bethel at Mount Vernon Nazarene. You'll have Goshen at Spring Arbor. And America's Game of the Week, number 3 Indiana Wesleyan at number 2 Grace. And this game is going to decide sole possession of first place in the conference. With a Grace victory, they would hold the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Wildcats for that number 1 spot. However, Grace still has to play Bethel again, so the 1 seed would not be totally locked. after Saturday. So looking at your updated standings, you'll have Grace, the 1 seed, at 13-2. The only team still perfect at home this year. And then for Marion men, they are the only team winless on the road this year. So you'll have Grace, the 1 seed, at 13-2. Indiana Wesleyan, the 2 seed, at 12-3. Bethel, Sully, 3 seed, at 11-4. Huntington and Taylor tied for 4th at 10-5. So the winner of that game Saturday will determine who gets 4th place, and the first home playoff, or the last home playoff game spot, I should say, will be determined by that matchup. Mount Vernon Nazarene, Sully, the 6 seed, at 6-9, and looking really, really good to officially lock that number 6 seed with either a win on Saturday against Bethel and or a loss by Spring Arbor. And Spring Arbor plays Goshen. So again, Mount Vernon Nazarene needs 1 win or 1 Spring Arbor loss out of the next 3 games for Mount Vernon Nazarene officially to clinch no worse than that number 6 seed, which actually, even if they both lose Saturday, then it would come down to either 1 more win and or 1 more Spring Arbor loss, as MVNU would hold the tiebreaker over Spring Arbor because of the upset win over Grace, and Spring Arbor got swept by Grace, so that common opponent tiebreaker would favor Mount Vernon Nazarene. And then St. Francis, Spring Arbor, the 7 seed, at 5-10. St. Francis, the 8 seed, at 4-11. Goshen and Marion needing to win out and having St. Francis lose out for Goshen and Marion to have a chance at that final league tournament spot in that number 8 spot. And that is an updated view of the standings. So in my next video, we are going to be recapping all of the games from the women's side of things. So again, make sure that you stay tuned for all of that. If you did enjoy this video, please either like, comment, or subscribe. Any one of those options helps me out greatly. I appreciate any feedback that you may provide me. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I will see you momentarily with the next video. God bless.